So what I want to talk about in this video is I want to talk about fear. I think fear and self-doubt are one of the biggest things that stops us from moving forward. We all go through fear. Even with some of the most successful people in the world have some sort of fear in their life. And I think the top fear in our life is, fearful that we won't be enough, and fearful that we won't be loved. I think that's the biggest fear out of a lot of things, and if you think about it, most of the anger, or if not all anger, comes from fear. If you think, if someone does something to you, or like a relationship, right? If you have a fight in your relationship, I think that relationship is now coming to a point where it's like, generally you're fearful you're having you're cranking at your partner because you're fearful that you're not going to be loved, or you're fearful they're not going to be enough, or you're fearful they're going to leave you, or they're fearful they're going to cheat on you, or they're fearful they're going to pull you away, or they're fearful of something else. You know what I mean? So if you think about that, behind every anger most of the time is fear. So I think we've just got to step back and say, okay, what am I fearful of right now? Why am I cranky, and what am I fearful of? But apart from that, the fear, that self-doubt talk in our brains, in our minds, that fear is obviously one of the biggest robbers of our life. Now, I think for us to overcome that, for us to break through the fear in our life, I think it's like a muscle. If you think about this, right? Like how do you grow a muscle, right? You go to the gym and you train it. And what happens the first time when you train a muscle, and you train it really hard? Oh man, it hurts, right? And it hurts for a couple of days. But when you come back and you do another workout with that same muscle, say for your biceps, well then it's going to be much easier, right? And then it gets easier and easier and easier. I think if we can say, okay, this is what I'm fearful of, I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm just going to basically just take it on, and I'm going to do it anyway. I think overall, after a while, when you start to do that, you start to not be afraid of fear, but you start, I'm just going to do it anyway. And then, have you ever noticed that? A lot of things where we're so fearful of them, we just avoid it, and we're so fearful of it, and we avoid it. And when we avoid it, when we avoid the fear, when we eventually get to what we have to do, it's like, oh, that wasn't too bad. What was I fearful about? You know what I mean? And so I think don't avoid fear. And that self-doubt and that fear is going to be there. But just say, you know what, I'm just going to do it anyway. I know that I'm fearful of, and generally what you're thinking of, what you're fearful of, is generally is probably not what's not going to happen. Generally when we say, oh, if I do this, I'm going to lose everything. It's like we have to challenge that fear in our life. And so every time we say, okay, I'm fearful of this, just say, all right, I'm just going to do it anyway. I know that I'm scared, I know that I'm nervous, but I'm fearful and I'm going to do this anyway. And you take it on. And I like to do this with, things like, so I like to do this, I like to do this, and I've noticed this, should I say, with myself, with heights. I used to be really, really, really scared of heights. So I started doing everything I could. Like if I went to a lookout, I would force myself to go and have a look at the lookout, and I'd look right down and I'd see all of the massive lookout. I'd jump out of planes and I'd do anything like that. I used to be scared of heights. So every chance I could get to face that fear, I just push myself. I'm just going to do it, and I would hold myself there. Sometimes I might go to the mountains. You guys might have some massive lookouts where you are. And what I'd do is I'd put myself over the railing where the lookout is, and I'd be so scared, but I'd hold it there, and I'd look at it, and I'd look at it, and I'd look at it, and then I'd step back a little bit. And then I'd go back and do it again. And I've noticed by doing that, over the last couple of years, I'm actually not as scared of heights anymore than I used to be. That's because I've challenged that fear. So I think if we don't challenge that fear, then it actually stops us from growing. So all in all, what we need to do, and what's important for us to do, is to keep challenging that fear, keep pushing that fear. And whenever I say I'm fearful of this, then you say, you know what, I've just got to do it anyway, because this is the thing that's going to really, really, really help me out. So whenever you have that self-doubt, which is generally that fear, just say, I need to keep doing this anyway. I just need to keep doing it, and not let it stop you. And when you don't let it stop you, you end up. That is the thing that you see quote unquote successful people make, or successful people do. right? They just keep challenging that fear. Whatever they're fearful of, they keep doing. Whatever they're fearful of, they keep doing. Fear is always going to be there, no matter what we're going to do. And as I said before, generally the biggest fear in our life is the fear is we're not going to be enough, or fear we're not going to be loved. And I learned that from Tony Robbins, from I guess being a mentor to the biggest stars in the world and the biggest businessmen in the world. That most of them have that fear that I'm not going to be enough and I'm not going to be loved. So dance with the fear, challenge the fear, keep pushing that fear, and it might take a while to get through that fear, but after a while, you're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. That's the reason why, like at Tony Robbins' event, he does the fire walk. And it was like my partner, or my ex-partner now. It was like my ex-partner. She was so fearful of doing the fire walk, but then when she did it, she's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I did it. So there we go, guys. Challenge your fear, step up and take action. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, face your fears today.